I think it's disingenuous to act like we don't know what she's talking about, to act like he hasn't said this. The military is not supposed to take up arms against American citizens, period.
They're not. You keep saying that. This is about illegal immigration. You all keep saying American citizens.
Well,
it's
how
about
do we
illegal
know whether the people are illegal or not?
Well, when we
know after they're shot?
We have 1.6
We know after they die?
We have 1.6.
You said you had tears in your eyes.
Absolutely.
During the George Floyd protest.
Yeah.
Did you have tears in your eyes on January 6th?
Hello, everybody. Guys, we got CNN, Abby Phillip with Scott Jennings. Just look how he defends Trump using the military on American citizens. I mean, these cultists, they would defend literally anything. He's just a petulant child. Check this out.
I think the thing is that Trump's talking about things like using the military on American citizens to make blue states behave and to round up immigrants and to police his enemies. And it sounds like Pete would be totally down for that. My husband comes from a military family. My father-in-law is a huge military hero. I have a lot of faith in our military. I have a lot of respect for our military. I have a lot of respect for Pete's service, but that's not how the military is supposed to be used. I don't want to be bringing back waterboarding. I don't want to be a country that tortures people, especially if we're the kind of country that's going to be using the military against our own citizens. This kind of thing concerns me.
What do you mean use against our own citizens?
I'm talking about
you
sending...
said blue states behave. What do you mean? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about sending the military into blue states to make them behave. Getting Gavin Newsom under control, getting J.P. Pritzker under control.
What are you talking about? What do you mean, like sitting into the state capitol to commandeer the state government?
I mean, I hope not, but he's definitely talked about that. I don't know why you're acting like you've never heard this before.
Using the military to suppress, in the Black Lives Matter era, those protests in the street.
He was there himself.
I think it's disingenuous to act like we don't know.
Look, he's a petulant child. When he doesn't hear something that he doesn't like, and he has no rebuttal, he just nods his head like a little kid. You have nothing to say about that? It's so amazing. This is why I called them that they're in a cult.
What she's talking about, to act like he hasn't said this. We know what he said. We all heard him say it. And so that's what it is. The military is only as good as the people who are running it. Pete Hegseth has talked about putting things back in place that have not been policy for the United States because they're wrong. Yeah. And so we have to decide, are we going to do what's right? Or are we going to do what Donald Trump wants us to do when we know that it's wrong?
Can I just make sure I understand your position? That you believe Donald Trump is going to use the military to set up effectively like coups in state capitals of states that he didn't win?
I think you're taking it a step or two.
No, she said
far.
Make blue states behave, and she also said round up immigrants. That's not true. Well, it's deport illegal immigrants.
Scott,
I think you just
Scott, I don't know why you're acting. No.
This is why I can't stand these guys. He acts like Trump hasn't invoked the military multiple times during the campaign. How about the thing about putting Liz Cheney in front of a shooting squad? Or how about the joke, quote unquote joke, shooting through reporters to get to him? And then this whole thing about removing illegal immigrants. MAGA Hispanic voters out there that have my skin color or anything near it. How do you think they're going to find out that you're illegal or not? I would love to know how they're going to do this. Are they going to stop people that look like me in the street? I mean, there's Hispanics out there that look like black Americans. How are you going to do this? Just think about it. Especially MAGA people who voted. How are they going to do this? How are they going to round these people up? How are they going to know they're illegal or not? Are you going to ask people to produce IDs, birth certificates? Does this sound anything similar to what happened with the Nazis?
Okay, well, I'm sorry. Hold on. I mean, look, I think you're right. Let's be precise. Trump has wanted to use the military to do things domestically that actually the military is not allowed to do. I think that's the point that she's making.
Like what?
And guys, just want to say, if you are a criminal and you're illegal in this country, then yeah, I think you should get the F out. I'm fine with that. I have no issue with that. But these other everyday people that are working jobs, how are you going to find this stuff out? Are you really going to ask people to produce papers? And there's white Hispanics out there too that look like a Marco Rubio and a Ted Cruz. Are you going to ask them for paperwork? Do you see how this can easily become extremely racist? I mean, I think it already is. I think their whole intent is to play to a racist base. These people are not affected by immigrants, especially these super rich, powerful people. Most people, honestly, are not.
Support illegal immigrants. That is actually not a function of the military.
The military can absolutely be used to work with local officials, to provide military resources, but working with other parts of the federal government and local officials. We already send the National Guard to the border.
Not against the will of the local officials or the will of the state government. We have a federalist government here.
Scott, you know as well as I do that the
you're saying exactly what Trump's saying. Oh, yes, we can. We can do it against the government.
When the National Guard gets sent to the border, they're sent for tactical and sometimes just providing material support to the border officials. They're not there rounding up migrants, but Donald Trump has been pretty clear. That's his vision, and people who understand the law around these things say that I mean, maybe I should point to the lawyer. So we have two lawyers at the table, but look, it's going to be an issue that's litigated if he tries to do it. There's no question about that.
The military is not supposed to take up arms against American citizens, period.
They're not. You keep saying that. This is about illegal immigration. You all keep saying American citizens.
Well,
it's
how do
about
we
illegal
know whether the people are illegal or not?
Well,
we know after they're shot.
We have 1.6.
We know after they die.
We have 1.6 million people in this country who've already received deportation orders from courts. They are here illegally.
No, it's always back to illegal immigration with.
He just said 1.6 million people that their paperwork were pulled as far as saying they were illegally here. Trump is talking about 10, 20 million people. You see how they go around it? And that guy just made the point that I made. How are you going to know these people are undocumented after you shoot and kill them?
People who support Donald Trump. It's always back to illegal immigration, but that's not the only thing that we're talking about here. We're talking about the American people. We're talking about taking up arms against them with a military that's supposed to be protecting them.
This is not right. You cannot say Donald Trump is sending the military to round up.
That's what he said.
That is what he is saying,
Scott. That's not what I'm saying.
Totally false.
He said that.
Totally false.
That's what he said.
Scott, Trump.
We are in the fever swamps, Abby. I'm sorry.
What is your dispute here? I'm not even really
because they're saying
that
he's like a child. He has no response. So you just like, who does that? It's just a petulant child.
Sending the military to shoot or round up American citizens.
We did not say shoot.
I think
people,
the issue.
You said take. He just said take up arms.
Scott, why are you acting like Trump?
Let me ask Elliot here. I mean,
look, I did say take up arms because when you send the army in, that's what they're there for.
Elliot, let me just ask you a question here, because I think this is partly what this is about. When we're talking about the use of the military on domestic soil, this is a complicated legal issue.
Yes, there are as a general rule, military cannot be used on domestic soil. Now, in the event, were a president, as we'll see in South Korea, to declare martial law, then certainly there are circumstances where military force can be used on American soil. But no, and I think we can all agree that the military has no day-to-day role in American law enforcement or immigration enforcement.
But can I ask you, the Insurrection Act, which is what Donald Trump...
And guys, I have an idea of how they're going to do this. They're going to plead danger and it's an invasion and we need to protect ourselves. They've already been pushing that immigrants are somehow more dangerous and more violent, when over and over immigrants and illegal immigrants are committing crimes at a lower rate. They're just going to demonize the crap out of them. If not make it, locally more dangerous for them by demonizing them, like they did with the Haitian people, and they start to receive bomb threats at their elementary schools in Springfield, Ohio.
Wanted to use on January 6th. What he's talked about using numerous times, the Insurrection Act, allows us to remove constitutional protections and use the military on our own citizens, correct?
So I believe the president has made statements that suggest a willingness to use the Insurrection Act.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we're going a little far afield here. I think we're giving Pete a bad rap. Look, the guy's on television every day for 14 years. God knows if they took everything I've said every time and spliced them all together, what would come out. I don't think anyone's talking about, making blue states red. Look, I have no problem telling you. Let me tell you. My law office is on 5th Avenue and 45th Street. When the George Floyd riots were going on, and on Election Day, when all of 5th Avenue was boarded up with plywood, I had tears in my eyes on an American election day that in the middle of Manhattan, we couldn't handle what was going on.
Did you have tears in your eyes for the reason why they were there in the first place, why BLM came about and all these riots happened? You have any tears for that?
God bless the NYPD. They did a spectacular job. But if they picked up the phone and said, listen, we need the guys in Fort Hamilton Army Base to come and just maintain calm, I would have zero problem with that whatsoever. I think those are the kinds of feelings that the Trump administration is saying. We're going to just make sure law and order is kept in line.
Can I ask you a question, man? Can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
How did you feel then on January 6th when all of those people stormed our nation's capital and our president did not call in any sort of armed forces to put that down, to make the people safe, to make the Congress people that were in there trying to certify an election safe? You wanted people on Fifth Avenue during the election day to make you feel safe, even though you had the
feel safe?
Even though you had the
They
NYPD.
broke the window of Tiffany's,
even though
of
you've
the
had
NBA
the NYPD,
store.
but you are not asking for the president to have called for any sort of military aid during something like
I will
January
defer
6th.
to the...
I hate this, like this two sidesism with BLM and the riots. And yeah, I'm not a supporter of the riots. You shouldn't do that stuff. But to say that this is equal to January 6th, overthrowing the government, attempted coup attempt, is the same as people protesting and rightfully getting pissed off about yet another murder of an unarmed black man. This is what these guys are trying to equate as, oh, yeah, I don't know, 50-50.
Gentleman to your right who knows a lot more about this and what Pelosi's role was in that, what the Capitol Police role was in that.
I'm just talking about the
I don't
military.
know what if the
I don't know
military
about
needed to be
Pelosi.
brought in that day, I would have been fine.
Well, I want to ask a question.
I would have no
because
problem.
You said you had tears in your eyes.
Absolutely.
During the George Floyd protest.
Yeah.
Did you have tears in your eyes on January 6th?
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? Everybody was in my office like, look, oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 1,000%.
And I think
At least he said that he's not as much of a cultist. But the better question would have been, did you have a tear for why the riots broke out in the first place? Did you shed a tear for unarmed black men? This repeated murder.
I think
1,000%.
Last word to you, Ellie. Then
No, no, I think your point's well taken about bringing the military in, but just to clarify one thing, the NYPD can't just pick up the phone and call the military.
No,
and call them.
the governor's involved, the mayor's involved.
Yeah, and it's a complicated federal state.
Yes, I get it.
Right.
But it was close. It was scary. It was scary.
There's no question.
All right, guys. Speaking of Pete Hegseth being in jeopardy, we've got breaking news in tonight. Apparently, Trump is already considering backup options, including one of his former rivals, Ron DeSantis. We'll have more on that after the...
I'm going to leave it there, but that's hilarious because I was just reading right before this that they're thinking about Ron DeSantis, the guy who targeted black voters and tried to get them deregistered and put them in jail. Actually, that's what he did. He didn't even do that. He tried to put them in jail, or maybe he did for a while. I don't remember. The guy who attacked Disney, fighting with Disney and this woke stuff. This guy's going to be a nightmare if they put him in. But it's hilarious. Pete Hegseth is going to go on Fox and Friends with his mom because his mom said that he was abusive to women. And now he's going to bring his mom to the show so that she can say, oh, no, I didn't really mean it. I shouldn't have said that. No, he's a good boy. Guys out there, let me know in the comments, how many of your mother would ever say something like that? Let alone say it when it wasn't true. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Guys, we're going to keep calling these people out day in, day out. Right? They have a way of labeling people on the left with these quick, disgusting one-word names. And I think it's important we fight fire with fire. If you're cultist, racist, sexist, bigot adjacent, I'm sorry. You are also a bigot to me. But I'll leave it there, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching.